AT&T. This is Al Troutwig along with Olympic gold medalist Tim Daggett and Elfie Schlegel. Today it is the event finals. After both the men and the women competed in the all-around competition, they thereby qualified on their respective apparatus. We'll begin with the women's vault. And Tim, we're about to watch the only American to qualify in the vault final, about to take about as big a leap as you can in this sport.
That's right, and that's Kayla Williams right there, and she's trying to do something that has never been done before. 5 months ago, she was competing at the Junior National Championships. She was recognized, and now she's competing against athletes like this, the Olympic champion, Hong Eun-jung.
We will begin with Anna Mizrikova of Russia. And why is it something that's never been done? Why has a gymnast on a junior national level not done what Kayla's about to try?
Yeah, it's like going from high school basketball to the NBA. And it's even greater than that, to be honest.
Anna qualified third coming into these finals.
A very nice start. In the event finals, you'll see the athletes perform 2 different vaults. They'll take those 2 scores, add them up, come up with an average, and that is their final score.
And there you see the number awarded to this vault. It's worth a 5.6. So the maximum is 15.6. And there's going to be a few deductions, mostly on landing, alignment off the horse.
Had a lot of power, but as Elfie said, when you land completely on one side, well, they don't take it though, which is unbelievable.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there should have been an additional 1/10 off there.
And of course, in event finals, 2 vaults, 2 different vaults, and the scores will be averaged.
Russia really in a rebuilding phase. As you hear the devise, that means let's go. She really needed all the help she could get on that one. That was not very dynamic. And there he is, actually. That's Alexandrov.
Putting a lot of hopes into that coach to rebuild this Russian program back to what it was, which back in the day, they won just about every medal.
Actually, not the Russian program. They've brought back a number of people who were instrumental in the Soviet machine that they were, and they were a machine and dominant and unbelievably great.
She seems to like what she's done so far here in London. Again, 2 scores, average in both. And we've often seen the judges take a long time to post their scores.
They're not calling home there, Al.
So here we go. The average score is a 14.225. So very, very consistent for Mizrikova of Russia. And now Rea Keslin of Switzerland. She finished 8th in the all-around. And like most gymnasts, she's got something to bandage up.
She is the reigning European champion on vault. Got a great first vault, sometimes struggles on her second.
She was a finalist in Beijing as well.
You know, it's so nice. She does bend her body a little bit, but just the landing position that she puts herself in, it's really impossible to not end up with a big step. She lands 2 locked-legged. Let's look right here. So locked-legged that it's jarring. And even if you're on balance, you're probably going to end up taking a step.
But a really huge vault. The difficulty is 16.3. And of course, the deductions are coming in the way of landings and form breaks in the air. There you see 8.775 on execution, but a very difficult first vault. The second one, she's planning not quite so difficult, full point lower.
And she actually struggles on this at times. Well, it was a good vault. I have to say, I think she kind of tucked a little bit at the end of that. So if the judges take a look at that and factor that in, that would be a significant deduction.
Well, of course, the judges are sitting right along the side, so they can see every body position. And as you said, She
So
tucks
right there on the last half flip, and that
should have been stretched
that
right
is
out.
a very large deduction. Just doesn't have the power that she gets on the first one. The landing was pretty good, though.
So again, it's 8 qualify from the first competition. So if you do the math, 8 qualify. They're going to be 3 medal winners, a gold, silver, and a bronze. You have a very good chance, and a 14.525. Now to the gold medal winner from Beijing.
And this should be great. She's got 2 vaults that are off the charts. Her first one valued at a 6.5. Oh, that's too bad.
And that is why this is such a weird year. The year after the Olympics.
But I'll tell you, she was so close to being nearly perfect on this. When you're landing, going forwards, you have to be a little under-rotated to stick, and she is, but just a fraction too much. Can't hold on, and that'll cost her a full point off.
2.5. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Actually called an Amanar after the great Romanian gymnast Simona Amanar.
So check that out. 6.5 difficulty, but look at the execution score. Way down.
Believe it or not, she's going to do an even more difficult vault, in my opinion. This one named after the great Cheng Fei of China. Very complicated.
Oh.
Wow. Now you don't see that often.
Well, you never see women doing 2 vaults out of a 16.5. I mean, that's just difficult, crazy.
You know, I think that she really probably could have held on to this one, but had a little left over from that first vault. But watch what goes on. Half turn onto the board, half turn onto the table, then a flip with 1.5 twists. Gosh, you get dizzy just watching it.
It's overwhelming if you consider how long she prepared for this, how many times she's done these vaults, how far she flew to get here, how many times she's practiced, and then in almost the blink of an eye, 2 vaults that doom her here in London.
Yeah, she's out.
And she went for the risk. I mean, this is what the sport has become. Go for the big vault, but you have to put it on your feet. It has to look clean to get the gold medals.
Well, here we go with Kayla Williams. Can she pull this off from Huntington, West Virginia?
And you know, I think she really just got a big bonus there, because now she knows what she has to do. Her major competition was certainly Hung Jung. Very nicely done. This is the first meet that she's performing this vault. An upgrade for her.
Kayla said that after the qualification competition, it was every positive emotion that she experienced times 10.
A handspring, laid out somersault.
And she does very, very well with her alignment. One of the best ones we've seen.
Is that a stick or not, Tim?
No, it's not a stick. It's 1/10 of a point.
She looks pretty calm.
Yeah. Well, actually, this next vault, she can do this in her sleep. It's the same vault we saw Bridget Sloan and Rebecca Ross do. So Yurchenko double full. She's got the tough one done for her. And like I said, she knew her biggest competition, certainly this young lady from Switzerland, but to beat the North Korean gymnast, and she's clobbered her on the first vault.
15.2.
She just got to stay on her feet.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
And she can do a harder vault. That's the thing, but she had the advantage of knowing what the others had done before her.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Absolutely stunning.
She's going to get a nice souvenir for these World Championships.
Nice to see. Can you imagine?
What a ride it has been for this young lady.
Who's going to be knocked out? Who's going to just miss? Kayla Williams, you are on the radar.
Well, super height, This is the Yurchenko vault. A lot of the women are performing this skill, but not as well as this young lady did right there.
And that vault right there is what got her noticed. And Steve Rybecki went back to USA Gymnastics and said, this girl is something else. We got to get her to come to a camp.
And the camp that they had just before these World Championships here in London was, believe it or not, the first camp that Kayla Williams had attended.
I think she's going to do it. I mean, comparatively, the two vaults, they're not even close.
Oh, yes, she is going to do it. Now she is in the lead. We'll find out what color medal she winds up with after this. Welcome back to the O2 Arena in London, site of the 2012 Gymnastics Olympic competition. Al Trautwig along with Tim Daggett and Elfie Schlegel. And we're watching one American woman, 16, Kayla Williams, who is going to go home from these World Championships with a medal. What color is it going to be? Right now, she is the leader, Katarina Kurbatova of Russia. Is she good enough to beat Kayla Williams' score?
I don't think so. I don't know if anybody is at this point. It's a nice vault.
Same vault that we saw from Kayla Williams, but her second vault that this young lady's planning to perform doesn't have the same difficulty value. So,
and I really don't think that was done anywhere near as good as Kayla. It's so mind-blowing that Kayla is in this position. It's amazing. You see the feet are a little scraggly, and she has that same little hop, but not as high, not as powerful, and not as clean.
How about both of you give us a quick synopsis of your getting to know Kayla Williams' story? How did it happen?
Well, we actually met her at the national championships, and I had heard about her from the junior nationals, and everybody was talking about this kid who was only a junior. All right.
It's just not going to do it.
No way. You see her have that deep squat down. That can be as much as 0.5 of a point in deduction. So really, we're only looking at one more gymnast, because this score will be not even close.
The highest value is a 15.6, and again, that's the difficulty of the vault. And if she were to score a perfect 10 on the execution, they would add those two scores together.
But the biggest fault, beyond the low start value, is look at how much she bends. Her knees almost touch the ground. If they had, it would have been a point right there. That's 0.5 off, in addition to the other errors.
That's not going to do it. 14.337. How about that, Kayla Williams?
Oh.
Well, she has to be feeling pretty good right about at this point, because for Juana Dufournet, her two vaults do not have the same difficulty rating as Kayla's.
And right there, that seals it, in my opinion. It's just too low of a start. Has a maximum score when you add in the execution of 15.3.
Well, Tim, you mentioned what Kayla is doing is the equivalent of a high school player going into the NBA. But now that same high school player is not only in the NBA, he's winning some big playoff games and maybe a championship.
Well, she was certainly impressive at national championships. And I remember speaking with Kayla, and she said, well, vault and floor are my two highlights. Those are the two events I'm hoping to represent the United States on at the World Championships. And wow, she did it with style.
I'll tell you, if she wins this, it's a little bit more like a high school sophomore going into the NBA.
So this second vault is valued out of a 15.6. You can see the execution score, 8.975. And of course, these athletes are shooting for 10s, which hasn't happened.
Well, she does a very nice vault.
Yeah, clean. She's had a great finals, just not the difficulty.
But Kayla Williams, you are the 2009 vaulting world champion. Impossible to think of. So this is a nice vault, but doesn't have the level of difficulty. She keeps a nice body position. It's just those feet. She's got to point them a little bit.
You may have heard that one lone voice in the background, someone who's figured it out. Way to go, Kayla.
Yeah, when you win a world title on an event like this, you expect the power and the bigness that goes along with this event, the vault.
And Duvernay is going to be happy with a 14.45. She's going to get a medal here, but get this. American Kayla Williams is going to win the gold medal and become the world champion on vault. And continue the fine American tradition on this apparatus. We are just getting started with the event finals at the World Gymnastics Championships.
Get 20.
It is obviously a gray day in London as we continue here with the 2009 Gymnastics World Championships in the O2 Arena. We wanted to show you what happened in the